lost 3 of the closest men to my heart. The way I see it is that I can take what has happened and the tragedy that I have incurred and find the best of it and learn from it. You've got to work for the positive. You've got to create it, where the negative creates itself, unfortunately. Almost 8 years ago, my dad was killed by 2 friends of my brother, and my brother killed them in retaliation. Had 2 life sentences without chance of parole, and 2 years ago passed away in prison. By the time that my mom and I had found my dad, my brother had already killed the other 2 guys and had fled the city. I don't know why his friends killed my father. It was never answered for me when I asked. They had been partying all night long, doing cocaine and alcohol, and the more the pieces fell into place, the more I fell out of place. They found my brother in Louisville the next day and arrested him. I didn't want to see him. I didn't want to be around him. And it broke his heart knowing that that I didn't want to have anything to do with him. Someone had pulled me aside and told me, they're like, you know, if it turns out he didn't do this, you're going to regret not spending these next few minutes with him. And I knew they were right, and so I just walked out, and we had probably about a 5-minute hug. My senior year in high school, I guess it was about 5 years ago, my boyfriend at the time died in a car accident. When my boyfriend died, I was very, very close with my family. My brother was in prison for 4.5 years, and then he died in prison. The chaplain had called my mom's house, and I knew that something had happened. Called my mom immediately and said, "Chaplain's gonna call you. You have to call me and tell me what's going on." Called her back 5-10 minutes later, and she's crying, and she told me that he had died. One of the best things for me to deal with grief was to try to maintain some type of normalcy. You know, stay in my routine, get up and go to class every day, and as hard as it was, get up and bathe every day. Keep yourself busy, you know. I mean, by all means, it's very good to sit with it and to deal with it, but you should only sit and deal with it when you're ready. Otherwise, you gotta, you know, you'll fall apart. You'll break apart. One of the best things for the people around me to do was to act normal. Hey, you're Allison. You know, you're one of my friends, you know. I have full faith that the universe will only deal me what I can handle. I tell myself that every time I have to deal with something, is that, gosh, look what you've been through already. It's not going to happen if you can't handle it. It's very important for me to look toward the positive every day. You've got to work for the positive. You've got to look for it. You've got to create it, where the negative creates itself, unfortunately. So every day you have to find the sunshine, and you have to find the smile, and you have to make the smile for people.